Okay, so a lot of stuff's been said on this acceptance, but wait, there's more. So, because I'm starting to learn just exactly how deep that particular rabbit hole goes. And so, as always, like, subscribe, share. Hope you get something out of it. If you have any questions, I mean, it doesn't really have a comment box, I've just discovered, and I don't know how to turn one on. So it is what it is. Just leave it in the Facebook feed down below. That'll work. But anyways, so acceptance. It says in the big book, just a general mumbling won't foot the bill. And in Bill's story, we hear that very, very hardcore phrase of a price must be paid. And so, when you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, it's one thing, to say, well, a lot of time's gone by, tippers have chilled out, things of that nature. And, and if you did something really dastardly, then, I would say that just going up and saying, hey, I've made peace with myself on this, but, I just want you to know that, there's no hard feelings. And, that, or even further, I've spiritually grown during this time, right? Because that puts me in that position of, really, dude, you screwed me over, and now you're going to stand over the body and come back for more. And, I can't accept that, because it does say in the part of, making the amends, it's heartfelt, right? If I'm approaching you and I have an amends I want to make, it's not heartfelt, you know, you don't give a shit. That's pretty much the bottom line. If it's not done with honesty and integrity, empathy, that's a big one. If it doesn't have empathy, then what's the point? Now it says, we always say in the meetings, well, I just want to clean up my side of the street and then I move on with my life. No, man, nowhere in the big book does it really, get you off the hook, so to speak, that, if I've hurt somebody, it's kind of like, some stuff has been weighing heavy on me, and I've talked about them in other videos on my Facebook feed, and it's like, even if I've made peace with myself before approaching somebody to make an amends, which seems a little bit out of order, but acceptance, you really got no control when it happens, but to some degree, that's me taking myself off the cross that I've carried, and cutting me some leniency and accepting, I really screwed up, but it's very important that I keep the splinters. Those are the things. Those are the things which, well, you're saying I shouldn't? Well, I do. I don't know how to not do it. Besides, Lucy, I find benefit in it because, it reminds me of what they must have gone through, the empathy of it. That, I can't just brush it aside as if nothing happened, because it did. And if it is of any value, it was a learning experience. So that being the case, anybody and everybody that I would sincerely make amends to, that I really did damage to, like hardcore intense damage, it would come in the form of sincere and heartfelt, with compassion and empathy, honesty and integrity, because even if I've cleared my own side of the street with myself, I still have to do it with them, right? I still have to do it in the presence of my higher power and say, hey, look, in front of God, I sincerely mean what I'm saying, and, I want to hold my head up high, but I need to know where we stand. Can this be rectified? because I did you wrong. You didn't deserve it. These are the things that, the price must be paid. I mean, Bill had to do it, and he describes it as the deflation of the ego. Okay, you know, even in deflating the ego, I'm working on myself. You know, ego will always be there. Its job is to remain invisible. So, just when I think I've gotten all the ego out of me, poof, it's back. It just materializes in a different form because it really wants to exist. And I know this. I'm an alcoholic and addict. That's what we do. It's kind of like job criteria. When you're checking the boxes on, things that you've done. Have I hurt people? Most certainly. Have I hurt myself? Most certainly. Did I do stupid stuff? Regular? Yes. Could I have done more damage? Yes, and I was going to until I finally got into AA and started working the steps. Some people have said that alcoholism is the ISM is I, self, and me, which sounds great, but doesn't say ego well enough. The way Monica used to tell me was, I sponsor myself. Where I don't want to seek outside sources. I don't want to ask questions. I most certainly don't want to raise my hand up in a meeting and saying, look, right now I've got fears and I don't know how to cope with them because this is new territory to me, these new fears. The other ones, me and my higher power, we dealt with to the best of our ability and I've grown and learned from it, but this is from a whole new source. So, there's a lot of fear involved. There's a lot of questions and things of that nature. So, as I walk through that stuff and I gain the acceptance, of me, myself, and I, as well as my surroundings and the people in my life, then I can chill out on myself a little bit. But nowhere does it say that I am 100% off the hook. Because that's going to be my barriers. Those are my guardrails, I guess, is the new term, my guardrails. Did I want to do it again to somebody? And, without those key components of the honesty, the integrity, which are part of myself, I have integrity. I have the capacity to be honest, being authentic to myself. I have these capacities. And before you say, well, damn, man, that sounds like a lot of ego. Yes, I have the capacity to do it. Don't always do it. Yes, I still throw up when people cut me off on the freeway or they drive really stupid. And, and other things. I mean, people step on my toes. They hurt. Sometimes it'll trigger old childhood hurts, and I'll respond accordingly. I was talking to somebody the other day that the way things work is they say you can't think your way into right acting. You have to act your right way into thinking. And I'm like, well, the first 3 steps, that's all about thinking, and then you start acting. So I'm thinking my way into right acting, and that was a head scratcher. And I started thinking about it. It's like it always begins with a feeling, something inside me, right? It's a blink of an eye feeling. And then immediately it goes to a thought. Now, it may be an unconscious thought or a conscious thought, and then immediately it goes to action. It goes in that order 100% of the time. Every single thing I do is in that. And it happens in blink of an eye, and boom, I'm already... Like I just scratched my cheek. It itched. I made an unconscious decision, or maybe it was conscious, to scratch my cheek. I felt it, thought it, did it. So, this is all about part of the acceptance is how do I minimize the bad feelings to have better thoughts and good actions. And, And so that's what I'm working on right now, and I accept that that's something I need to do. So I hope this helps you, and helps get you at least just thinking about kitty kitty. No, don't think about kitty kitty. That it just gets you thinking about acceptance, because really that's the destination of it, isn't it? So you guys have a wonderful evening. Hold on a second. There's a little spaz right here. Hello, everybody. Keep coming back. It works. Ah! So, have a great evening.